Alright, YouTube, we are back, and I've waited far too long to actually make this video, and I appreciate if many of the subscribers who were here when I was creating the Ironman documentary aren't here anymore, but hopefully you still are, and hopefully you decide to stay with this channel and myself as this channel does start to evolve into something different than what it has been in 2024. So the last video I made on this channel was basically a summary of my experience of doing the Ironman, which is what this channel was born from, in the process of me documenting all of my training for the many months up to the Ironman that I completed in Switzerland. Now, after the Ironman, I had not only a lot of changes in terms of my physical goals, because I wasn't about to do another one, but also in terms of my lifestyle as well, which then affected where I was mentally and ultimately the content I was creating for both Instagram and YouTube. So if you follow me on Instagram, you would know a little bit about this story, but basically when I was training for the Ironman, I was also running a gym here locally as well, and I was doing that for about 2 years. Now that opportunity came to me from many years in the fitness industry, and actually through a client that I was training when I was a personal trainer. So I evolved ultimately into running the gym, and after about a year I realized that that wasn't actually what I really wanted to be doing, and it wasn't fulfilling my purpose or my mission, and something about it just wasn't ticking the boxes. So on a very regular basis I was getting burnt out mentally and just extremely uninspired about the role that I had, and also felt really tied down in terms of location and time away from my family and loads of other things. And paired that with the Ironman training that I was going through, which obviously demanded a lot from me physically and mentally, a lot of this burnout, so to speak, started to actually trickle into my role, which meant that I wasn't actually fulfilling that role to the best of my ability, and that started to get noticed by the people who I was working with. And on my last day of work, due to have my 2 weeks holiday to go and complete the Ironman, I was sat down to have a very tough conversation about the fact that I would no longer be actually returning to that workplace, which was a very tough pill to swallow. Now fortunately I was very looked after in that process, and it was a very mutual thing, because they knew that I didn't really want to be there deep down, which didn't serve me nor the business or the people who were in that business. So I was looked after financially in the fact that I didn't actually have to work for the next few months, which gave me time not only to sit and reflect about the next thing that I wanted to do, but also give me the time in order to start building some momentum and some finances, so when that money ran out I actually had something to replace it. And that next few months for me was very tough. Although this might sound stupid, I turned 29 and I did a lot of reflecting and had a lot of thoughts about what I want to achieve going into my 30s. And in that process of reflecting, I looked over the last 10 years that I've actually spent in the fitness industry, and kind of come to the conclusion that it wasn't really something I wanted to pursue anymore. As an 18 or 19-year-old kid, I was very lost with what I actually wanted to do in my 20s, and naturally I just turned to fitness because it was a passion I had. So I tried to figure out how I could actually make that passion into an income source. I've always loved fitness as a hobby and a passion, but I found that trying to make it an income source actually took away my enjoyment and took away some of my passion for then actually running business. So then both sides of it were getting affected. So I did try going back into coaching, and after picking up a couple of more clients I realized that I wasn't going to best serve them or myself in doing that, and I wouldn't give myself the right opportunity to actually grow something I wanted to, in terms of providing myself the financial resources and my family the freedom that I want to strive for. And it was at that point I had an email from one of my old clients, Dylan, who I previously helped train for a 100k ultra in Canada. And the email was from his business that he's running, and I could see in the progress that he'd had over the 2 years since I trained him that he was actually making really good progress in business. And this email was basically him looking for what's called a high ticket closer. Now this was something that I'd been kind of learning a little bit about. I'd always been familiar with through my business experience in online coaching, but it got me thinking, perhaps this is actually a really good opportunity for me to pivot. I like speaking with people, I like the opportunity to change people's lives, I like challenging people on their current belief systems, especially when they're not serving them, and I like working remotely. And this opportunity ticks all of these boxes, as well as the opportunity to actually create a good income with all of those things, and that would provide me and my family with the life that we want. So about 4 months ago now, at the end of September, I interviewed for that role and was successful, and have been working in that team ever since. Now, for those of you who don't really know what high ticket sales is, I'm actually going to dive into this in another video, and it is something I'm going to be talking a lot more about on this channel, and how everything I've actually done in my life and have a passion for in my life is going to help me be successful in high ticket sales, and hopefully we can learn some stuff along the way as well. Now, with all that being said, I still love fitness, and I still like pushing myself mentally and physically and using fitness challenges as a way to do that. I did even complete a High Rocks in November, which I filmed, but I didn't really make an effort to create content around because I was still a little bit unsure at that time of what direction I wanted to take this channel in. I didn't just want to chuck out a random video, but there are some clips which I'll show now. Now, unfortunately, when I completed this High Rocks, I was just coming out of what I'm pretty sure was a 3-week stint of COVID. I tried doing like a training run about a week before this High Rocks, and to be completely honest, it just ripped me off. My heart rate was like 165 at 10 minutes a mile, and I wasn't able to really do much for the next couple of days. So I knew that going into this High Rocks, I wasn't in my best physical condition, and I was a little bit complacent in the fact that in my mind, I was like, I've just completed an Ironman a couple of months ago. It's just a big circuit round a big room. I'm going to be fine. And I definitely didn't give it the respect that it deserves, and it was pretty tough. Now, I'm still a little bit unsure about where specifically I'm going to take my fitness this year and what challenges I am going to do. But for me, a big part about being fit is being physically and mentally strong, having a body that's strong and robust and lean and capable of taking on pretty much any challenge, or at least saying yes to anything that gets presented to you, whether that's a trail run, a big hike, a cycling event, a swim with friends, whatever that may be. So for me recently, the focus has just been building those foundations, and we are actually heading to Cape Town in about 2 weeks time, and I'm going to be utilizing our time there to run mountains, go for hikes, and have as much fun as possible. And I'm actually taking one of my bikes as well, and I've just signed up for the Cape Town cycle tour, which is 109 kilometers around arguably some of the best roads in the world, with some of the most amazing views that I've actually drove before. So I can't wait to do that in what's going to be an incredible event that I think thousands of people do. I was actually in Cape Town for this last year, but I didn't even know it existed. So I went for a run on the same day. I came down onto one of the roads that the event is on. I've seen hundreds and thousands of cyclists cycling past, and I had serious envy because Ironman as well, so that would have been ideal for me to actually take part in. But anyway, all of this is to say that this channel will no longer be about me training for physical challenges specifically. Fitness is going to be a huge part of this channel as it's part of my lifestyle, but I'm also going to be just documenting how I operate on a day-to-day basis, how I'm going to use high ticket sales to pursue the life that I want for myself and my family, and how I'm going to excel in high ticket sales by utilizing my passion for personal development, operating as a leader in my lifestyle, and also using fitness to stay strong and healthy and give me the body and the mind that I need to operate at my best ability every single day. So if you are a current subscriber who joined me for the Ironman journey, then I hope that you can stay and that sounds good to you and will provide some value or at least some entertainment. Or if you're someone that's watching this video for the first time and see my previous content, then hit the subscribe button and join me for the journey, because it's going to be a crazy 2025. One thing that stood out for me in this pursuit of high ticket sales is the fact that I feel abundantly clear on my goals for this year, which again I'll explain in another video. And I've never felt this clear before. I've never felt so aligned with a role. And even when I was coaching and running the gym, I always got distracted by other shiny objects and felt deep down that I wasn't fully committed to the goals that every year I would lay out for myself. But after the last couple of weeks in the Christmas period of actually reflecting and setting goals for myself, I feel deeply connected to what I've set out and extremely aligned with everything I'm going to do and extremely clear on the path to get there. So it's going to be an incredible year. I hope that you can join me for the journey, and I look forward to showing you everything that I do get up to. Cape Town's going to be a crazy trip. I'm actually there for 2 months, from the end of January to the end of March. And I've got a couple of crazy trips lined up for the rest of the year as well. And if you are someone who's in Cape Town watching this, then hit me up, maybe we connect whilst we're there, and maybe even go for a cycle ride. But we'll see you in the next video. Don't forget to drop a thumbs up, subscribe if you are new, and we'll see you soon.